Assalamualaikum and greetings. My name is Ain Nadhirah Binti from TESOL 1. So today I will be presenting my TSLB 3152 Digital Innovation Proposal. So let's start with the background context that I've chosen for my innovations. So Year 2 students, typically aged around 6 to 8 years old, are in critical stage of language development. They are expected to transition from basic vocabulary to more complex language skills, including the ability to accurately describe people and objects in their surroundings. However, it is common for students at this age to face challenges in vocabulary acquisition and descriptive abilities. And interactive learning is of paramount importance for Year 2 students as it aligns with their developmental stage. Interactive activities, games, and hands-on experience not only capture their attention but also enhance their vocabulary and descriptive abilities by making learning enjoyable and memorable. So the problem statement that evolved around this innovation is firstly the vocabulary building on how can we help younger learners expand their vocabulary effectively to describe people and objects in their everyday environment. This problem statement addresses the core issue of vocabulary development, which is essential for describing people and things accurately. It allows for a broad range of teaching strategies and materials to be employed, ensuring flexibility in the approach. And the second one would be interactive learning. What interactive activities or games can be designed to engage Year 2 students in vocabulary development and describing people? So interactive learning is often highly engaging for young students. This problem statement focuses on practical, hands-on methods to improve vocabulary and descriptive skills, making learning more enjoyable and memorable for Year 2 students. These two problem statements can be combined or adapted as needed to create a comprehensive plan for addressing vocabulary and descriptive challenges in younger learners. So the rationale for vocabulary building problem statement. The vocabulary building problem statement is driven by the recognition that a strong vocabulary is the cornerstone of effective communication and language development. Younger learners at the tender age of 6 to 8 are at a crucial juncture in their language acquisition journey. Their ability to describe people and objects is directly linked to the richness of their vocabulary, and it serves as a foundation for communication. Vocabulary serves as the foundation for verbal and written communication. Without a diverse and robust vocabulary, younger learners may struggle to express themselves clearly and accurately when describing people and things in their everyday life. Secondly, it also helps with academic preparedness. As students progress through their educational journey, their language skills become increasingly important. The ability to describe characters in stories, write descriptive essays, and engage in classroom discussion relies heavily on vocabulary development. Therefore, addressing vocabulary gaps in younger learners is pivotal to their future academic success. Thirdly, it also helps with confidence, and expression. A strong vocabulary empowers students to express themselves with confidence. Younger learners aged from 6 to 8 is a time where children are eager to share their thoughts and observation. Insufficient vocabulary can lead to frustration and inhibit their self-expression, which can impact their overall development. And lastly, it also helps with reading comprehension, as vocabulary development is closely tied to reading comprehension. An enriched vocabulary would allow students to understand and engage with more complex texts, fostering a love for reading and improving their overall literacy skills. Now let's move on to the rationale for interactive learning problem statement. So interactive learning problem statement stems from the understanding that traditional teaching methods may not fully engage and cater to the unique needs of the younger learners. This approach recognizes that children at this age learn best when actively participating in their educational experiences. So firstly, it would help with their developmental stage, as younger learners are in a stage, especially for those aged 6 to 8 years old, are in a stage of cognitive and social development where active engagement is crucial for effective learning. They thrive when they can explore, experiment, and interact with their environment and peers. Secondly, it will also help with attention and retention. So interactive learning activities capture students' attention and enhance retention. Hands-on experiences, games, and collaborative activities make learning enjoyable and memorable, ensuring that vocabulary and descriptive skills are more likely to be retained and applied. So this brings me to my next point, which is real-life application. Interactive learning activities would allow students to apply their newly acquired vocabulary in real-life contexts. Describing people and objects during play or interactive lessons help bridge the gap between theory and practice, therefore reinforcing their language skills. And lastly, social interaction. So collaborative and interactive learning promotes social interaction, which is vital for the language development itself. Engaging with peers and teachers in discussion and activities encourages students to use language for communication and description. Okay, before I introduce you to my product, let us know a little bit about trialogical learning approach that I have implemented throughout the design of this product. So, trialogical learning is an educational approach that emphasizes collaborative learning and knowledge construction through interaction and dialogue among three key elements, often referred as the trialogical triad. These three elements are individual learner, which is the student or individual who is actively engaged in the learning process, and the individual's prior knowledge, experiences, and cognitive processes are central to the learning experience. Secondly, the community or social group, the social context in which learning occurs, typically represented by peers, educators, and the broader learning community. Collaboration, discussion, and interaction with others play a crucial role in knowledge construction. And lastly, content or subject matter, the topic or subject being learned. This encompasses the curriculum, materials, and the information or skills that learners are trying to understand or master. To simplify, the trialogical learning acknowledges the dynamic and social nature of learning, recognizing the knowledge is not merely transmitted but actively constructed through the interplay of individual learners, their peers, and the subject matter. This approach aims to foster deeper understanding, critical thinking, and the ability to apply knowledge in diverse contexts. So, for example, learners would take ownership of their learning process and would actively be involved in setting goals, making decisions, and monitoring their progress. Another example that I can give you would be trialogical learning emphasizes that learning is an interactive and dialogical process. It is through conversation, discussion, debates, and interaction within the learning community that knowledge is constructed and refined. And lastly, trialogical learning also encourages learners to engage in reflective thinking, which involves critically examining their own understanding, considering diverse perspectives, and revising their knowledge as they encounter new information and viewpoints. So, in simpler terms, trialogical learning is about three important things: the students, their friends, and what they are learning. The students is the person who is trying to learn something. Their friends are the people that they work and talk while they are learning. What they are learning is the information or skills they want to understand better. Those are the three elements in trialogical learning approach. Therefore, when we talk about building vocabulary and using interactive activities for learning, it means that students are actively involved in fun activities and discussion with their friends to better understand and remember new words and how to describe things. This helps students learn more effectively and enjoy learning together. So now let's move on to my product description and what you need to know about the design. So basically, I will be providing the students with a classroom hub named as Ward Hero Lab, or which is a shorter nickname for Wardrobe Hero Workshop. So the Ward Hero Lab would consist of 3 sections. Firstly, the introduction of concept, where students will be exposed to various types of resources regarding the selected content, which I will show you later on. And the second section would consist of students practicing their knowledge through interactive activities such as Guess Who, that I am planning to provide through the live worksheet platform. And thirdly, Make Your Own Hero, which students create their own hero and swap with their friends to make a discussion about it. So moving on to the first section, which is the introduction of the concept. So in this stage, students will be learning the clothing items through resources such as flashcards that would include common clothing items that are available in the clothing topic in the primary school level, which I found in the Year 2 Supermind textbook. And I would also include other unfamiliar items just for the students' exploration. And secondly, I would also introduce chants, because chants is proven to help memorize clothing items, is proven to memorize items, and therefore I would like to apply on my innovation, which focuses on clothing items by providing a rhythmic and repetitive way to reinforce the information. So let me show you guys for a bit.
This is one of the videos that will be provided on the platform during the introduction stage.
Listen and repeat. A hat. A hat. A blue and yellow hat. A blue and yellow hat. A dress. A dress. A pretty pink dress. A pretty pink dress.
Okay, so that was the video. It's just a simple one to give you some ideas. So now moving on to the second section, which is the interactive worksheet and games. So the interactive worksheet will consist of several reading tasks accompanied by a set of character pictures, which students are required to select one that best matches the provided description. So in this stage, it is quite straightforward. So moving on, I would also introduce a word wall, just so that students would able to revise their memorization from the earlier stages, from the earlier section. So now moving on to our third section, which I think is probably the best section there is, because students were able to get creative on their own. So on this third stage, I would ask the students to make their own hero through a website that I found, which is the Kids PBS, where students can make their own hero and students can choose their costume, select the clothing items you think your hero would wear, and would stimulate some questions later on for the students for during the discussions. why did you choose these clothes for your hero? And students will also be able to change their hair and select the best hairstyle that they want for their hero, and they can also go crazy and get creative with the colors. Lastly, by the end of the hero making making part, students would be asked to write in his name. So this is also the fun part of the activity, because students would have to choose a name that represents their hero's personality and ability, and later on during the discussion they would have to share the name that they have chosen and discuss why it fits the hero, and perhaps they can also discuss a better name that can describe their hero best.
Excellent choice.
So moving on to the user's guide. Before that, I would like to clarify that I will be using 4 platforms in my innovation, which the first one is Canva. The Canva website will compile all these 3 others platform, and for the first activity or for the first section, which is introduction to the clothing items, once students has entered the classroom hub through a website link that will be provided, students can easily go to the next page where information can be found. Students may explore any of the buttons to gain information on clothing vocabulary, and suggestions will pop up for students to learn about the clothing items. Okay, for the next guide on interactive practice. So once students has entered the classroom hub, a page will also direct students to the live worksheet and the word wall websites. Students may click on any of the buttons and explore any of the activities on the page to test their memory. And lastly, for the create on your own hero, a link will be provided on the website, which I think the students would only need to click on a button, and the page will direct the students to the Hero Maker platform, and from there on, the students may explore any of the clothing on the page to make their own hero. So the impact of this digital innovation that I would hope on teachers would be enhanced teaching resources, that teachers can use the interactive vocabulary building product as a valuable teaching resource. It can supplement their curriculum with engaging and effective tools for vocabulary instruction, reducing the time required to create materials from scratch. And secondly, increase engagement, where the interactive products can make learning more enjoyable and engaging for students. Teachers may find that their students are more motivated to learn and participate in vocabulary activities, which can create a more positive classroom atmosphere. And last but not least, professional development. So exposure to innovative educational technology can contribute to teachers' professional development. They can gain experience with digital tools and strategies that enhance their teaching skills and adaptability in the modern classroom. Now let's move on to the impact on students is improved vocabulary skills, because the primary benefit for students in this innovation is the improvement of their vocabulary skills. And interactive products that often use gamification and multimedia and adaptive learning makes vocabulary acquisition fun and effective, therefore making it more memorable and enjoyable. Yes. So secondly, increase engagement, because interactive elements such as games and quizzes captures students' attention and maintain their interest in learning. This can lead to higher levels of engagement and a more positive attitude towards language learning. And the next one would be self-paced learning, which is very important in my innovation, because interactive products often allow students to learn at their own pace, and this flexibility accommodates different learning styles and ensures that students can progress according their individual needs. And lastly, confidence boost. As students build their vocabulary and descriptive skills, they become more confident in their ability to communicate effectively, and this newfound confidence can extend to other areas of learning and life. And last but not least, impact on parents. Firstly, the visibility into learning. So parents can have visibility into their child's learning progress through these interactive products that provide performance updates or reports, and therefore this would allow for more informed discussion about their child's education. And secondly, parents can also support their can become the supportive role in this whole innovation, because parents can support their child's vocabulary development by engaging with the interactive product at home. They can reinforce learning, play vocabulary games together, and encourage a positive attitude towards language acquisition. And thirdly, it would also encourage communication with teachers, as these interactive products or interactive activities often facilitate communication between teachers and parents, allowing for a more collaborative approach to education. And therefore, parents can discuss their child's progress and areas of improvement with teachers more effectively and more thoroughly. And before I forget, these interactive activities can easily be accessed through the internet, and therefore I hope that it would be convenient for the parents, as these interactive products can easily be accessed from home, and therefore providing the parents with the convenient tools to support their child's learning outside of school hours. So that would conclude my presentation for my proposal. I hope that you enjoyed my presentation, and you may leave any comments if you like, and I will make sure to read all of your comments. Thank you.